Sisters, brothers, siblings, friends, family, and international guests, welcome to Vancouver. Welcome to the West. I've been honored to serve as Western Regional Director since 2019. It's been quite the ride, with major challenges arising each term. When I gave my last constitutional report in 2022, I spoke of the challenges we faced and the determination of our members. Workers were fed up, and our job was to help them fight back. I spoke about organizing, about the challenges and the obligation we all have to organize more workers than ever before, to increase our efforts, to expand our scope, and to take on the biggest corporate giants in the world. A right-wing Manitoba government under Heather Stephenson was continuing years of conservative leadership started by Brian Pallister, who had restricted public sector bargaining and ripped up card check organizing. Manitoba anti-scab legislation was a distant dream. Prior NDP governments refused it many times, and they kept card check laws at a high 65% to organize. It was also the final days of Jason Kenney in Alberta, but we knew that Danielle Smith and her pro-Trump supporters were waiting to take over and make it even worse. Leaving 2022, we were also heading into critical provincial elections in every single Western province. So could we deal with all the challenges that faced us in 2022 and actually make progress? It was a tall order. But friends, as always, and always with determined struggle, I'm happy to stand here today and say, yes, Unifor, we did that. Our team have helped locals take on a historic number of disputes in the past few years. As you heard, well over 100 by now. These picket lines were bold, and they made real gains for workers. But I will mention two disputes that are still going on in this region. At the Sheraton Guildford in Surrey, local 3,000 members have been on strike since July 5th. After our successes in hospitality bargaining, some employers still want to get away with paying low wages. And this particular employer has a terrible record. There was another strike there in 2018. Our Sheraton Guildford members know their worth, and they are refusing to back down. And we're almost 200 days into a dispute for Unifor workers in the Cowichan Valley over the continued reliance on private transit contractors by BC Transit and the huge gaps in pay and benefits and pension that result. BC Transit is a Crown agency, but it actually outsources most bus services across the entire province through private contracts, except for in Victoria, where the hundreds of members there are proud members of Unifor 333 BC. Unifor has helped achieve contract flipping legislation for transit workers right here in 2018, and transit workers have been fighting back ever since while the government does nothing. We've had 4 long strikes in 3 years, affecting tens of thousands of residents in Whistler, Chilliwack, Courtenay, Comox, and now in Cowichan. We've held rallies outside BC Transit and in front of the legislature. We even brought workers from the bargaining committee in to meet the Labour Minister and to the Premier's office directly. And the sad thing is, the BC NDP's 2024 platform promised a review of private transit contracts, but no action has followed. This is now the longest transit strike in BC history by far. The challenges with the arrival of a second Trump White House have been massive also. I've been representing Unifor on 3 new provincial government task forces this year in the face of these critical threats. On Premier Wab Kinew's Manitoba-US Trade Council, the Trade and Economic Security Task Force formed by Premier David Eby, and I've been serving on the BC Softwood Lumber Advisory Council, where I'm working with the Forestry Minister and others. It's critical to be in those rooms, because I can tell you, the business groups love a good crisis, and they put forward their wish list of anti-worker ideas every single time at every single meeting. Give us all the money, they say. We'll take care of workers. But it's only us in the room that are there to keep that focus on the workers as it should be. Now, as always, we face many challenges. We face tough bargaining in this region and across the union in the years ahead, not least of which are our 5,000 transit members working right here in Vancouver and our major auto and airlines negotiations next year. Though we still have the BC NDP here, we almost lost everything to a Trump fan party dedicated to ripping up all our progress. Danielle Smith is still Alberta's premier, and it shows us what happens when Trump fans take office. Scott Moe is still the Saskatchewan premier, and the minimum wage is still the lowest. Racism is alive and well in Manitoba and elsewhere. Right-wing activists are fighting against truth and reconciliation instead of going forward with justice and dignity. Pay equity progress remains difficult, and intimate partner violence remains an epidemic. People can't get ahead, and poverty rates are far too high. The right to strike remains under threat, and even friendly governments are still far too timid on expanding our rights to organize and in taking bold steps to improve workers' lives. So we've cracked the door open in organizing at the previously untouchable, Walmart and Amazon, but we know they will stop at nothing to prevent us from reaching those fair first collective agreements. And as we all know, the right wing is on the march here and around the world. Wars and genocide break our hearts, and we hunger for stronger movements to stop the carnage. But always remember that our wins were not accidents. They were the product of planning, solidarity, and the courage of members and leaders who chose action over excuses. And that's how we moved in the last 3 years, from defense to offense. I was so happy to see so many Unifor members who joined me at the Vancouver airport just a few weeks ago, very short notice, to support the brave CUPE flight attendants who stood up to an arrogant corporation and frankly a reckless government. And this scene was repeated across the country. And that's what I love about Unifor. We show up for each other, for other union workers, for all workers here and around the world. To our members, thank you. Thank you for trusting us to lead and also for always pushing us to be bolder. Now let's get out there and continue to do it together. Solidarity, everyone.